Welcome to After Scale, the podcast where we dive deep into the journeys of the world's top short-term rental property managers. Join us as we uncover their secrets to scaling success, from pivotal milestones to the lessons learned through mistakes and triumphs. Hosted by Scale family members Damian Sheridan, Gianpaolo Vieiro, and Louise Brace. After Scale reveals what drives these leaders each day and the indispensable tools that propelled them to the top. Tune in for inspiring stories, actionable insights, and the ultimate blueprint for scaling your own short-term rental business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Off the Scale podcast, where we interview some of the leading property managers from the short-term rental industry from around the world. Today, I'm delighted to have my Scale Dubai colleague and good friend, Oriol Plana, who is the co-founder at HiGuest and the founder and CEO of Mr.Alfred. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, and very excited to start, and thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Oriol. So listen, we, as I mentioned a moment ago, we interview some of the leading property managers from around the world, and we want to kind of get an idea about their journey, how they've scaled their business in the short-term rental industry. I'm going to hand over to you just to tell us a little bit about your journey, where things started for you in the vacation rental industry, and just give us a brief synopsis about you and the business.
Excellent. So, I'm originally from Barcelona, but I've been in Dubai for 12 years. So my journey in holiday homes, as we call it in Dubai, started 7 years ago with one of my best friends from Barcelona that was also living in Dubai. Wanted to start a company, and we had a bit of experience in hospitality before, and we decided that we wanted, we found out that this business was in Europe and in the US very quite established, growing with the Airbnb that was created, 15 years ago now. But in Dubai it was very, very small. So then we decided to test it, to try it while we were working, and create kind of modern, new operator, tech-enabled, focus a lot on tech, international growth. So we had a very bold vision, a clear roadmap, and everything. So we started up in Dubai. It was funny because we did an event with our friends. We explained the idea, and after that event, we had like 35 clients already, because it's people in Dubai, a lot of expats go back home on holidays, in Christmas especially, which is high season. So we were like, wow, that really is a good business. The only problem is that the 10th of January, we had 0 clients because they all came back. And so we said, okay, so yes, it was a good side business for 2 weeks. But now we need to create a proper company. So then is when we started the journey of creating a HiGuest.
Okay. So that was how many years ago?
Around 7, 2016.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about how things have developed then since then. So that was a very early stage. You had some people who gave you their properties for very, limited period. Obviously, that wasn't going to be something that was going to develop into what you have now. So tell us how things changed.
Yes. So then, as I said, we put in place this vision, and we did a bit of fundraising with friends and family. That helped us a lot. And then we quit our jobs and we dedicated full time to this, and we started growing. And Dubai was growing. They regulated the industry 1 month after we started, so it was perfect timing as well. So we started growing. In Dubai, we reached maybe 100 units in 1.5 years, 2 years. Within this the first year, we decided also to open India. We had a very good connection there that pushed us to go to Mumbai and open Mumbai. So we opened India, and then we opened a headquarters or back office more in Barcelona as well, because Barcelona had more talent, more experience in this industry. So we thought that for the reservations, for the revenue management, technology, it was better to have an office in Barcelona, but not operations. So in that saying, in the first 2 years, we had Dubai and Mumbai with around 150 units probably combined, first 2 to 3 years. And then we did 2 agreements with kind of franchise agreements with Dominican Republic and Australia, with partners to open there. We also had invested in our own software and technology. So we kind of were like providing the software, providing the revenue management from Barcelona, which we were very strong at, and they were handling the operations locally. That didn't work out well, to be honest. We learned why. I think it was too early in our journey. We're not ready, but it was good because we learned why and we tried to fix the issues, especially in the technology and the processes. And then, yeah, by the end, so by the beginning of 2020, which was probably 3 years, no, 3.5 years in the business, we were around 300 units, 220 in Dubai, and maybe 60 in Mumbai. And we started operations in January 2020 in Barcelona, which was very good timing as well.
So we'll come back to 2020 in one moment. So tell us about setting up somewhere where short-term rentals or vacation rentals isn't really established as yet. What are the difficulties you found there in terms of really maybe an industry that's not even known? What were the obstacles, that you encountered?
That's a very good point. So the first maybe 2 to 3 years, no one in Dubai knew Airbnb. Airbnb was not known. It's true that the government made kind of an agreement, but it was more marketing than anything real with Airbnb. And therefore the business development was completely different as today. We had to do two things. First, convince a property owner about the industry, what short term, as generically, what is it, and then convince them to work with us, which it's very typical of new industries and markets. The good thing is that there was no competition. When we started in Dubai, I think there was 3,000 apartments. Today we have 27,000. So the growth of Dubai, unfortunately, has been much more than ours. But it was difficult. It was difficult. And just as a funny story, in our office we received a call from the government of Dubai, because in our tagline we had Airbnb management services, right? So high guest Airbnb management services. And they say, is it the Airbnb? And as a startup, you try to always hack the system. No, we say, it's Airbnb. Say, okay, very nice. No, we're organizing an event with ambassadors of the Gulf in Dubai with the Dubai tourism, and we want Airbnb to be present, and so we would like to invite you. And say, no problem. When is it that? So we attended an event pretending to be Airbnb in 2017. So imagine the government didn't know anything about Airbnb and the region itself. So
okay, how times have changed. So you mentioned, I don't want to focus too much on COVID, and we all know that affected everyone, but you mentioned how you had grown into several countries come January 2020. Presumably there's a story here in terms of how things didn't maybe quite develop as you'd expected over that year.
Yeah. So when COVID came, we had, as I said, the back office in Barcelona. We were like 20 or 25 people in Barcelona. Then we have operations in Mumbai and Dubai. Barcelona operations, as I said, just started. My partner was in Barcelona. I was in Dubai. And well, the good thing of being in different market is probably you see things faster. No? I think we saw the COVID before in Dubai than in Barcelona. So we kind of took some measures, but basically, bottom line, what we did was we closed down Mumbai very quickly, because we kind of knew that in India, these things would have impact more. That was a good decision, very quick. And then in Barcelona, we just started, so we really didn't do anything. And Dubai, the first 3 to 6 months in Dubai were hard, but after that, Dubai was very good, and we came up from COVID very, very good and very healthy. So kind of Dubai sustained the whole operation. So we're blessed to be in Dubai. And I think in Mumbai we closed down. In Dubai we went to half in terms of number of portfolio, and then in the next year and a half we came back to the previous figures before 2020.
Okay, excellent. So at the moment, what is your inventory across these various countries?
Now we're only in Dubai. So, well, actually, we're in Dubai and Barcelona, but there are two different business units, much more separated than before. We decided to, and that's probably a learning of scale. It's a very localized operation, the holiday homes. So instead of centralizing, we decentralized almost everything, and we have Dubai and Barcelona almost as independent operations. So we're around 200. 160-ish in Dubai, 30-ish in Barcelona.
Okay, great. I've seen you speaking on many podcasts, your own podcast included, about growing a company, and in terms of bringing on new units. Obviously, we appreciate that's really important, and how a metric that a lot of managers use. However, perhaps not the ultimate metric to be using in terms of scaling a business. How do you? I'll make this question in two. One, how do you grow your inventory? And how important are the numbers of units that you have to overall scale and success to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of this, and I like to call it the vanity metrics, the number of units, because in a dinner, it pumps your ego, but in business, number of units is not real. No? And we found out that the hard way during COVID. No? So during COVID, we cleaned the portfolio, and we realized that it's much better to have profitability than numbers. So something that probably the operators that are more in mature markets would find interesting is Dubai is completely different. Dubai, we don't have we have regulations, but anyone, almost 90% of the apartments in Dubai can have a license. So it's not difficult to convert any apartment into a vacation rental. So therefore, the main problem, so the barriers to entry also for operators are very low. So there is a lot of competition, as opposed to what I said 5-6 years ago. Now everyone knows about the market industry. So now you need to differentiate in a market that it's difficult to differentiate. So now you can spend a lot of money in marketing where you will compete with a lot of people. But for high gas now is word of mouth, own network, referrals, and we're quite focused on that. The clients are better, they stick more to the business, they churn less, because in Dubai it's easy to convert apartments in vacation rentals, but it's also easy to cancel contracts. So people come and go. So in Dubai it's very important to grow because churn is higher, so you need to have higher growth. It's easier to grow, but it's not like Barcelona, or which is the city I know in Europe, where contracts can last 5 to 7 years, 10 years with landlords. Here, you need to really, really earn your next month almost with each client based on performance. So it's very important to perform very well in terms of revenue, but also in terms of transparency, customer service to the host, and all this. So it's quite a different market in this sense.
That's really interesting. So in your opinion, the expectation from property owners in Dubai is higher and greater than perhaps in European countries or others?
Well, I would say it would be the same in terms of return. The difference, again, is the availability of apartments. So in Barcelona, again, I'm comparing because it's the market I know, probably the difference between long-term and short-term is 70%, 100%. Because it's a super control market, there is scarcity and all this. Where in Dubai, the difference between long-term prices and short-term prices can be 10, 20%, sometimes 0%. That's also the elephant in the room today in the market. No? So some areas, long-term, perform better than short-term. Yeah. So you need to differentiate in different ways. You need to explain probably the landlord that is a 3 to 5 years vision, that if you cancel after 6 months, you might miss the next peak in the market because it's very volatile as well. It's a matter of if you have also clients in Dubai have big portfolios, so diversification of risk. You have some portfolios in long term, some portfolios in short term. It's a more liquid asset, so you can sell it faster than if it's tenanted. So there is a lot of components that only return. Whereas in Barcelona, my understanding is the return is there. There is no, just by having a holiday homes with license, you will have massive return. So here, no, here you need to really, really work. So it's not the landlords themselves that are more demanding. I think it's the market that is more demanding. The switching costs are lower than other places. So you need to perform good always, every day.
And I guess the supply and demand has changed markedly over the last few years. Which makes things a lot harder for yourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So 10 times we have growth. The only good thing of Dubai now, today, is oversupply. I think everyone knows that. It's very easy there is a lot of subletting as well, which is the rent-to-rent model, which is becoming very popular also because of the social media and all this. And but the only good thing of Dubai is that the demand is very strong, and we don't have a problem of demand. Demand is growing. There is more. The government number one strategy in terms of investment is tourism. So it's growing and growing and growing. And holiday homes in this region also culturally are well positioned because Arab families prefer apartments. They're big families. All Indian families are big, so which are two big markets for us. So they prefer to stay in an apartment and maybe renting 3 rooms. So from the demand side, very strong, which is good in a market. So we are not worried. Just supply is a bit oversupplied. Therefore, there is an impact on prices. Occupancy, you can keep 80-90% occupancy rates because demand is there. It's just the competition in prices. So, but the experienced ones like ourselves, we know that. I mean, we know how to navigate this. The problem is the new companies that pop up with this hype that maybe now they are struggling. There's got, as I said, a lot of easy to do holiday homes, easy to churn. So my vision is that there is going to be a correction in the number of units, and then all the cycle will go back to normal.
When we came to Dubai last year to source a venue for our Scale Dubai event, you hosted an event where I think you had about 80 odd property managers there, and we met some really fascinating people. Some people who just set up a couple of months ago and they had dozens, if not even into like the hundreds of units somehow straight away. They're like really interesting people. Now they've been very early in their journey, and I'm sure they are making mistakes and having issues growing. Is there anything that you can tell us now, an early mistake that you made perhaps in your journey that would, if you could go back there now just to solve that, what might that be?
Yeah, I mean, too many. I mean, we can do 30 minutes more of podcast, but probably the rapid growth that we experienced back then didn't allow us to put the foundations of a lot of things, starting with the tech stack, much more mature now than before, but because smart locks didn't exist, or I'm talking about Dubai, were not available. PMS 7 years ago were not that mature as well. So we that's why we created our own. But we probably this one. So define your tech stack at least for the first 2 years, a bit in advance processes and this. And probably that's the main mistake that we did. But I think it was generated by this rapid growth. No? So, and then selection of units. I think I said it before. No, better units than number. But these are things that you learn. I mean, I don't like to call it mistake, because if you don't do like this, probably you wouldn't do this later. No, so but yes, I would advise people to plan it, understand, and not create a company for 12 units. Like, better to partner with an existing company because there is a lot of fixed costs. If you have 100, yes, but if you have in Dubai 10, 20, partner with a company. You don't need to create your own company. It's not easy.
No, certainly not. Along the way, I'm sure you've talked about tech and software. Are there any tools out there that you've tried over the years that now are an integral part of your business moving forward that you could just not do without, apart from Mr. Alfred?
I mean, yeah, I'm a bit biased here because I will say Mr. Alfred. To be honest, I cannot answer anything. I regret not having installed probably smart locks from the beginning, because when you have a portfolio of 200, the investment of smart locks is huge. So probably that one would be my main regret, not having installed it one by one, because now it's quite expensive in terms of investment.
Okay, yeah. Tell us about the goals for the next 12 months, say, for both Mr. Alfred and for Highguest.
Well, for Highguest, we have the goal is to continue with a healthy growth. We are growing 5-7% in the last couple of years with a good portfolio. Our objective is to increase the number of units per client, because that means our clients are happy, which is a good metric. And then that's in the core business. And then we're open. Market is very also very, very quick in the region. So we have Abu Dhabi, we have Ras Al Khaimah, we have different cities, and in Ras Al Khaimah they're going to install to develop a casino, for example, and no one knows what's the impact. But that's also a 3 to 5 years project. Abu Dhabi is starting to accelerate. Demand needs to be generated to be interesting market, and then there is the big Saudi market that also it's big in terms of potential. No one knows what's going to be there. Highly regulated, difficult to enter, expensive to enter. So in terms of expansion, we will see. We need to have the eyes open and be able to act quickly when we see the opportunity. And for Mr. Alfred, continue with the growth that we have, developing more functionalities, making clients happy. We're also very happy. We're expanding to different countries with clients, Saudi, Turkey, South Africa, Egypt. So just continue what we're doing. I think it's enough of a goal.
Tell us briefly about Mr. Alfred, because we come across many property managers who develop their own software or own tools, and we know it's not easy. And perhaps sometimes when you develop these things, you realize, wow, we need to plow more and more money into this. And, is this something we want to sell to others or keep ourselves? Tell us briefly about the journey with that. Why Mr. Alfred? Why did it start? And what's the goal?
Yeah, so as I said from the beginning, we also always had a vision of being a tech-enabled company. So we tried some softwares and we didn't like them. We created our own tool, but it was internal and we were happy about it. And then we were very, very strong in revenue management. So all this change accelerated during COVID. No, I guess you have some idle people that don't have work. So we said, hey, let's try to accelerate this vision. And then we started providing revenue management services for clients in Spain. And as HighGuest was not very strong brand. We don't have much operations, only in Barcelona, small units. So we could do it under HighGuest, and we were providing revenue management for clients in Spain. But then we thought about it and say, well, if we want to provide this to Dubai clients, we cannot provide it on the HighGuest brand, under HighGuest company. And then we decided to say, okay, so let's do revenue management and let's use our software. So we had a PMS that we liked. Our revenue managers loved it. Say it's a very good tool if you are kind of strong in revenue management. So let's try to sell it. So we're mainly selling revenue management with the PMS, which it's different because usually you have a revenue management company or system and then you have a PMS. So for us, the PMS was a byproduct of the revenue management system, and that allowed us to improve the software in a very we didn't invest a lot of money in terms of direct investment, time and team, of course, and resources. But since we had so many experience as a property manager and we were using it with our clients, so with the feedback and everything, we're developing it. And now every day we have more clients signing up for the software itself without the revenue management, which it's good because it means that the software itself provides value to them. So it's a PMS and a revenue management system.
Yeah, great. I'm sure it's been tricky along the way, but and actually tell us why the name Mr. Alfred. You've told me in the past, but I know it's of interest to some people.
Yeah, so HighGuest had when we started HighGuest, we made that with some friends. We said we went with the mascot. No, we want to create some animal and everything. So we had a dog and a cat. At the end, the cat won. So we had a cat that was our mascot for HighGuest, and we called the cat Alfred. We call the cat Alfred because it's the butler of Batman, and the butler, it's exactly what we do, no? As a holiday home operator. So when we created the software, the cat, we had already not using it that much in HighGuest. So we say, okay, so let's call it Mr. Alfred. And not only is because of the name of the cat of HighGuest, but also because we wanted to be, our vision is kind of be the only partner or the main partner of a holiday homes, provide a very close service, solve any issue. And that's what we're doing. Our clients call us for anything, accounting, and we want to say, okay, so who can do that? So call Mr. Alfred. No? So we wanted to make it a more human approach rather than a software with the software name. and it works with all the languages, that's important as well. Not like my name, for example, that is difficult in any country except from Catalonia, so to say.
Final question, Oriol, and something we ask all of our interviewees: what does the word scaling mean to you?
Okay, for me, scaling basically is growing. No? It's growing. Scaling is changing probably from being a company that everyone does a little bit of everything. From a founder and CEO, scaling probably means from doing a lot of things, from managing a lot of people. So specific for the industry and from companies, no? Scale is, I think, probably doing this transition from a company that is manageable with a small team, without processes, with experience, with probably not documenting a lot of things, to create something that can be replicated, that can grow automatically, can work in autopilot, where the founder can have holidays. So that's probably scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. Oriol, if anybody wants to connect with you or get in contact with you about either SCALE Dubai, Mr.Alfred, hi guests, how should they do that?
So they can send me an email directly. I mean, I'm all the time in the phone with the email at oriol@mralfred.com. Instagram, we have an Instagram of Mr. Alfred, my personal Instagram. I'm posting professional things. We have a community of WhatsApp that we have 70 to 100 people. I'm happy to invite them through my phone. So, but obviously first via email, and we will add them to the community, where we post weekly, like 3 or 4 posts about industry, about things that we do in Mr. Alfred. But as you said, community-wise, we do a lot of things. So email, Instagram, LinkedIn. I use a lot of LinkedIn. These are the 3 platforms.
Super. Oriol, thanks so much for your time today. We are looking forward to catching up and seeing you and everyone else in person in October.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Oriol. Bye-bye.